Hey guys, the Mediocre Pyre here. Just want to do a quick test of my knife. I got a couple weeks back from my buddy Gavko. If you don't know him, I'll have a link down below in the description to his channel, but he makes some phenomenal knives, and this one is definitely an excellent example of it. He gave me this a couple weeks ago and refused to take payment, so thanks again, Mike. I really can't say thank you enough, but such an awesome knife. I've been carrying it with this sort of modified lanyard type style. I have a video, I'll put that up in the description, but really been working out. Awesome Kydex sheath as usual, but today we're going to be testing cutting a couple different materials. So I've got some retired nylon climbing rope. It should be a good test, do a couple chops of that. I've got a couple pieces of wood that I'm just going to chip, and these are dry, completely dry, and I'm going to cut a little bit of cardboard, so pretty nice. I have touched the edge up with some of my strops here. This is a strop with some diamond compound. I've got some 8 micron and some 5 micron. I think I might get another strop with some, I don't know, 15 or 20 and then some 10, just so I have a whole continuum of stuff to resharpen some convex edges. But this is just a strop with some normal compound, some black compound, and some green. Got both these from the stropman.com. Awesome strops for a great price. So first of all, to show you guys how sharp this is, I'm going to use some paper from one of these magazines, you know, really thick magazines where they have all sorts of stuff. But very big advantage to this stuff is that it's super thin, so it really shows you how sharp of an edge is. If there are any chips or anything, it's going to catch. But you can see really nice and sharp. I can do a couple push cuts and it's just effortless. So really fine edge. I can even do Mike's test where you hold it on the opposite part of the page and just chop it, and the paper just flies off. So if I can do this, of course I've had too much caffeine, so it's difficult, but really nice. I can do these nice wavy cuts, and this is by far the sharpest knife I've received out of the proverbial box. Mike does a fantastic job sharpening. So first of all, I'm going to cut some wood. I'm going to put on some gloves just so I don't cut myself, though I don't plan on doing that. So this is a pretty small branch, but it's not really meant to be a hard use test, just a pretty much a little EDC sort of test. So what I'm going to do is just cut little chunks out of this branch until it is all gone. This should be a pretty good test. If I remember correctly, there should be some wood from a cherry tree, so it shouldn't be too hard, but still, it's nice and dry, and it should be a good representation. This edge is just going right through this this branch. You can see one bite, and I can just chop right through. Minimal effort, really, for what it does. This is the first time I've really tried out a convex edge, and I'm really impressed. So again, it's very comfortable with or without gloves. Mike does a pretty phenomenal job with his ergonomics and everything. Okay, so I'm getting pretty close to the end here. Let's see how sharp it is. Oh, still have a piece of paper in there. Pretty much no change in the whole edge. Maybe a tiny little roll, but no, I don't think so. Really no noticeable change in the edge right here. So let's cut a little bit more wood. The stuff is a little thicker and harder. I'm not sure what exactly this is, but I definitely can't chop all the way through with one swipe. But you can see I'm taking some really big slices out of this, and putting wood all over the place. I'm not even in frame there, holy cow. This wood is definitely a lot harder to go through But again, still slicing with no problem at all. I'm trying to work the whole edge just so I can get a good idea of how easily it blunts. Hit a knot here. Let's see. This takes a little bit of work. So, gotten over half of the stick process already. Let's see how, test the sharpness again. I just can't notice a difference in the sharpness yet. Definitely holding up really well, especially with this harder wood. I really wouldn't expect something. It's pretty much as sharp as it was before, maybe a little bit duller, but I can't really notice any rolls or anything. No dents or anything yet, so it's a pretty tough steel, especially trying to hack through some of these knots. I mean, it's tough work. My forearms are definitely killing me already, so just going through another knot here. Of course, it's not a huge one, but it's still pretty tough to work your way through. Okay, well, almost to the end here. I'm gonna call it quits for the wood for now. Again, I really don't expect the edge to have disintegrated that much, and maybe a little less sharp, but nothing really good stropping could fix. I mean, still nice and easy, push cuts just fine, especially where I was just chopping with the wood. So no noticeable change yet. I'm gonna go onto the cardboard now, and so just gonna do this without the gloves now because I don't have to cut as hard, and I really don't expect any major issues. This knife just sails right through this cardboard. It's ridiculous. No effort. So just ignore your normal 2-ply, nothing fancy. And it's a little difficult. I've got this little bit that's glued on here to try to cut through, but otherwise just sails right through. It is pretty tough to cut through this little double layer of cardboard that's stuck on here, but once I hit the single sheet of cardboard, it just sails right through. Let's try to get some fine slices so I can really test this edge. One thing that I was originally worried about was this pattern not being very comfortable, but Mike does it in such a way where these grooves fall right in where your fingers lay, and it really, once you start cutting, it just falls right into the perfect spot in your hand, and you just don't really notice it at all. But I'm really having to struggle right now. Let's test this edge again. Now there is a little tiny rough spot. Oh, of course, it's the this adhesive that's stuck on there. Kind of adds on some more friction. See if I can't get it off there with a little bit of spit. There we go. It's starting to come off. Hopefully that'll reduce the friction here. Oh yeah, Still a little bit on there, but it shouldn't hinder it too much. So there's that bit of cardboard. Let's move on to the next piece. Again, I don't really mean this to be a hard use test, just a sort of EDC sort of test to see how well it holds up to anything you might have to do in a day of normal wear and tear. I really have not had any experience with a convex edge or 154 cm before, so it'll definitely be interesting to see how well this holds up, and so far I'm pretty impressed. Especially with that hardwood, I would have expected the edge to lose it long before I finished cutting all that stuff. So. This is making pretty quick work of this box, that's for sure. Don't want to cut myself. That'd be the last thing I want to do with one of Gavko's knives. He's probably beat me up or something. Going on to this last one, second to last one here. Don't want to show my address since this is a box that I'm trying to recycle here. Again, trying to cut through with this adhesive on the knife really isn't working out so well for me, but I'll work around it. My hand's getting more tired from holding the cardboard than it is the knife. That's definitely a good sign. Good ergonomics all around, I'd say. Okay, last piece. This thing is just still chewing right through this. It's ridiculous. Knife is definitely getting a little warm, but still no rolls or chips or anything. Almost to the end of this box. Better speed up, I'm running out of space on my camera. Holy cow. So that's it. There's the cardboard. Lots of adhesive on here. See if I can't wipe that off a little bit. But overall, very, very impressed so far with what I have seen. I mean, that's a lot of softer steels would definitely start to lose their edge, and not really seeing that with this so far. So, quick little test here. I am noticing it is cutting the edge a little bit more roughly. It's not making a super clean cut. You guys probably won't be able to see that on here, but that might also be the adhesive that's built up on the blade. But overall, still slicing paper just fine, and I can make nice wavy cuts, wavy push cuts, so maybe not there. So, still has a very good working edge. See if I can shave with it. Just barely grabbing some of those hairs. There we go. So it does shave, still shave. Very impressive for the amount of work that it just has done. So now for the last and final test. No, it is not chopping through this 2x4, which I might try later on, but just going to cut some of this standard climbing rope. You've got your mantle, the outside, and then you've got your kern, the inside strands, and this is used, so there is quite a bit of dirt that's built up on the inside of this rope, but should be a pretty good test. And it does still push cut right through the rope. Let's see if I can slice here. Slice is just fine. Of course, this isn't going to be as abrasive as manila rope, which I should probably plan for next time, but nonetheless, it's very impressive where I can just push cut right through this rope. You can see right there. So it is cutting it really nicely. I'm going to do a couple more cuts here. Let's try some push cuts. I am very impressed at how well this is cutting the rope, even with a high polished and highly stropped edge. I would have expected it to not bite as well as it does, but it's really doing an awesome job. So far I've gone through about a foot of rope, about 40 cuts or so, and it just feels like it's slicing exactly the same. I am having to push quite a bit to get those push cuts, but it is possible. So you can see nice clean cuts, really clean. So do another quick test here. This is ridiculous. I'm barely noticing a difference with all this cutting that I'm doing. Definitely gonna have to bust out some better tests, probably some manila rope or something, and see how many cuts I can get. But you can see here, just pops paracord, no problem. There we go. So awesome knife. Definitely check out Gavko's work. So far I'm very impressed, not only by the 154 cm but by the heat treat. It's just phenomenal. Though I'm not really that experienced with knives, that experienced with different kinds of steels and doing these sorts of tests, but just from EDC sort of use and that sort of thing, this is very impressive. Didn't really completely pop the paracord there, but let's just do another quick test here, see how well this holds up. And wow, I'm just really impressed at how well this is holding up an edge. I mean, didn't expect anything nearly this good. I mean, it does catch every now and then, but really nothing that couldn't be stropped out. Just looking here on the edge, it just still looks pretty damn perfect on both sides. So nothing a little stropping could take care of. Still plenty sharp to not only slice paper, but still shaves hair pretty well, if I can get that in frame. So I'm just trying shaving here, and it is not doing it for me. Let's try somewhere with a little bit more hair. No. So it doesn't shave anymore. Almost cut myself there. But it still slices paper very well. Still a pretty good edge. Definitely still workable, but did lose its super fine edge here. Overall, very impressed with this steel and the heat treat. I think Gavko really found a good guy to do his heat treat, and these are not just pretty looking knives. They're knives you can go and use and not be scared to break or, you know, otherwise damage. So thanks again, Gavko. I really can't thank you enough. I know I said that at the beginning of the video, but this is just such an awesome gift that I will definitely have for the rest of my life and cherish. So if you guys are watching this, definitely check out Gavko's work. He doesn't make knives to order. He just produces what he wants and puts them up for sale. So keep an eye out on his channel. Every now and then he comes out with a couple new knives, and definitely awesome. So anyhow, thanks for watching, and see you guys later.